Rubix Talent Kids.
Hi friends, my name is Nidhish. Today I'll be explaining you the topic motion. This topic will come for you in class 9 NCERT book. Now let's learn about motion. Friends, first let's see what is motion. Now in our day-to-day lives we see many objects in motion like birds flying, fishes swimming, planets evolving, etc. Now here we can say that these things are in motion because we can see that the position is changing from time to time. Like if their position is not changing from time to time, we say that those things are in rest. That is motion. Now let's describe motion. Before describing motion, for example, there is a village and here is a hospital. Friends, in a village, a school is located 2 kilometers north from the hospital. Now here, to find the location of the school, we are using the hospital as a reference point. Now this reference point we can call it as origin. Now from this origin point we are knowing the location of the school. Similarly, let's see in the case of motion. Friends, now let's see about motion along a straight line. Here, let's take this. Now let's take this as 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer, 15 kilometer, 20, 25, 30. Now let's take this as point O, and this as point A, this as point B, and this as point C. Now here what you did is you had to go from O. First you started from point O and went to point point A. Then after doing a work at point A, you came to point B. Then after completing your work at point B, you came to point C. Now here what is the total distance? Now here the distance would be OA plus AB plus BC. Now the total of these three would be 30 kilometer plus 5 kilometer plus 15 kilometer. Now this all adds up to 50 kilometer. Now the total distance traveled here is 50 kilometer. Now the total distance traveled is 50 kilometer. Now similarly with this, now distance traveled is 50 kilometers. Then what is displacement? Now what is displacement? Displacement means the distance between the initial point, meaning the first point, initial point, and the final point. So the distance between the initial point and the final point is the displacement. Now there is 10 kilometers gap between the initial point and the final point. So displacement equals to 10 kilometers. Now here the difference between displacement and distance is that distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. Now that is the difference. Here distance can be 0. Displacement can be 0. Distance cannot be 0. Also distance. Now we take distance as S. Distance is denoted with the letter S. Displacement is denoted with the letter S bar. Now the magnitude of distance can be greater or equal to the displacement, which means that displacement value can never go up of distance. Now here is a track. Friends, now what is displacement exactly? Displacement means that the distance between the initial point minus the distance between the final point. Now displacement can also be termed as the shortest distance from the initial point to the final point. Now here it is the track. Now A, B, C and D. Now from A to B, let's take it as some 5 meter. From B to C, 10 meter. From C to D, it's 5 meter. Then the total distance covered would be 20 meter. But the displacement would be from A to D. This would be the displacement and its distance would be 10 meter. Now this is displacement. Now let's see about our next topic. Friends, now let's learn about uniform and non-uniform motion. So what is uniform and non-uniform motion? Now let's take this part, a road. Here this is 5 meters, this part 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 is 5 meters. Now here, now there is a person going on this road. Now he took 5 seconds to cross this part. He took 5 seconds again to cross this part. He took again 5 seconds to cross this part and same in this part also. Now what can we say is that he took the same amount of time for the same amount of distance, which means he is going at a uniform speed or uniform motion. Now uniform motion means that the equal amount of distance, we take it as this. Here what is uniform acceleration means that a body traveling equal distances at equal intervals of time. So 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, these all are equal intervals of time and the same in distance. Now this man is going through the equal amount of distance in the equal amount of time. This is called uniform acceleration. If he takes, now let's take these values difference. Now he took 3 seconds to cross this part, 7 seconds to cross this part and 2 seconds to cross this part. Now here what we can say is that he is not covering the same distance in the same interval of time. Now this is non-uniform motion. Now in our daily lives we mostly see non-uniform motion. Also note that we cannot use uniform motion forever. Uniform motion can only be up to a short period of time. It can never be forever. Now let's see about speed. Now speed is denoted by V. Now let's see about speed. Now speed formula is total distance by time taken. Now let's take this part, the first one. So now let's add all of this. Now the total distance is 20 meters and the total time is 17 seconds. So the speed of this man would be 20 by 17 meter per second. Now let's see about the different types of speed. we are going to learn about 4 types of speed. Now let's see about those 4 types of speed one by one. Friends, now let's see about speed. Now, speed is a scalar quantity. Now let's see about the 4 types of speed. The 4 types are non-uniform speed, non-uniform speed, instantaneous speed and average speed. Now uniform speed is just like uniform motion. Then non-uniform speed is just like non-uniform motion. Instantaneous speed is the speed. Now let's see what is instantaneous speed. Now instantaneous speed. Instantaneous speed means that the speed of a body at a particular instant. Now a body is going like this. Now the speed of the body at this instant is called instantaneous speed. The speed of the body at this instant is called instantaneous speed. Now instantaneous speed is like that. Now let's see about average speed. Friends, now let's see about average speed. Now, what is average speed? Average speed is the average of the total distance covered. Like, let's take this. Now, here this is non-uniform motion. We use average speed for non-uniform motion. So we mostly use average speed for non-uniform speed. Now this, let's take this external 5 meter, 5 meter, 5 meter and 5 meter. Now these are the equal intervals of speed distance. Now here you take, it took this guy 10 seconds to cross this part, 5 seconds to cross this part, then 15 seconds to cross this part, and again 5 seconds to cross this part. Now what is average speed? Now here this is going with non-uniform velocity, or sorry, it's going with non-uniform speed. Now so the average speed would be the sum of total distance travelled by total speed, total time taken. So total distance travelled would be 20 meters and total time taken would be 35 seconds. Now after you simplify it, you would get 4 by 7 meter per second. Now this is the average speed. Now it is covering 4 by 7 meters in a second. This is average speed. Now let's see about our next topic, which is velocity. Friends, now let's see about velocity. Now what does velocity mean? Velocity is a vector quantity. Now speed with that action is velocity. Now we just say that. Now there are 4 types of velocity. They are uniform velocity, non-uniform velocity, instantaneous velocity and average velocity. Now what is uniform velocity? So uniform velocity is the same as uniform speed, but instead of distance we use displacement. Instead of distance, hence we write displacement. Instead of distance we write displacement. That is velocity. Now what is non-uniform velocity? The same definition as speed, but we replace distance with velocity. Now what is instantaneous velocity? The velocity of a body at a particular instant is called instantaneous velocity. What is average velocity? Now average velocity would equal to initial velocity plus final velocity. velocity by 2. Now this is the formula for finding average velocity. Now we can write it as average velocity would equal to initial velocity u plus v by 2. This is the formula. Now let's see about our next topic. Friends, now let's see our next topic, which is rate of change of velocity. Now what is rate of change of velocity? Now the rate of change of velocity is acceleration. Now acceleration is denoted with the letter A. So friends, what is acceleration means that the change of velocity is called acceleration. Now for example, a body is moving with a speed of 30 meter per second, then at last its speed went to 5 meter per second. Now here, this is the initial velocity and this is the final velocity. Now the difference between these two by 2. So change in velocity would be 5 minus 30 by 2. Now the formula for acceleration would be final velocity minus initial velocity by 2. Not by 2, by time. Take it. Now from here to here, let's take the time had been like 25 seconds. Now we have this. Now what would be the acceleration? We would get minus 25 by 25. Then it would equal to minus 1. Minus 1 meter per second. Now it is reduced. Now the acceleration is minus 1 meter per second. Now this is rate of change of velocity.